Hey there, friendlies. Sorry I'm late. Had a bit of a technical issue, but now we're online. And welcome to the May Day edition of the Beer Blazing Bushcraft live stream. For tonight, the beer selection is Nectarius by Les Brasseurs du Monde. It's a honey brown, 500 mils, 6.5%. So it's a little bit of a strongie, but it's not too bad. Excuse me. So we will open that up just a little bit later. Tonight, what we're talking about is... tea is a good drink. Tonight, what we're talking about is... There we go. Sorry, folks. Someone is texting me. That's Simon asking if I'm going to be doing my live stream tonight. So where was I? Tonight I'd like to talk about, in a larger sense, tools, working with your hands, stuff like that. Just let me make sure that I'm public. Yes, okay, good. Just making sure everything's good. So yeah, working with your hands, tools, and some good news about a YouTuber who hasn't been on in like a year and who I used to chat with a lot. Salut les boys, we have LT Survival and Simon Forget on. Welcome to the chat, guys. So yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. That's my plan between now and 10:30 or 11. I hope to be interesting and fabulous. And while we're at it, I'm going to put tongue oil on this little spoon. That works for me. I like that plan. Be interesting, tongue oil a spoon. I was just chatting with my buddy Robin recently, well today, and he went to pick up a hand plane and a couple of tools that he found on Kijiji. And it's funny because I picked up a lot of tools on Kijiji. But I've realized, you know, for me, tools are something that I enjoy. I really like tools, especially old classic tools. You know, this was my grandfather's, that kind of thing. I love that stuff. But I've come to the realization that I'm tired of old tools getting between me and a project. Like, I'm tired of the situation where I've got this really cool hand plane, but I have to do a full restore on it before I can make X table or something. You know? I'm going to let that just sort of oil up for a little while, and then I will put another coating on. You know, I'm not into that anymore. Like, to me, if I get a nice old... Can I start that again? For me, if I get a nice old tool and the object is to restore it, I want that to be the project. I don't want the tool to be stopping me from getting on with a different project. It bugs me. It didn't used to, but I realized I'm not getting anything done. I have wood all over the place that's cut for projects and bliss, blah, 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 blah. But because I acquire my tools in like garage sales and, oh, my grandfather had this and blah and blah and blah, I spend all my time trying to get the tools working. You know? Tonight, LT Survival is having an Alchemist Red Pale Ale. Yep. Yeah, I've had that before. It's pretty tasty, eh? I realize, you know, I have like all the bottles from the past few weeks of live streams just sitting here. And when I walked in here tonight to just sit down and get ready, I saw all these Le Corbeil. And I saw these bottles sitting there. I thought, wow, I look like a lush. But I'm not. It's like, these live streams are kind of almost the only time I drink these days. You know? Hey, Winders Ranger, how's it going? Simone, the fence is another thing that's blocking me. We need to dig a trench and put a dry, what's it called? A dry drain, dry well, dry thing. It's a barrel that you put in the ground, put a French drain along like a trench, and when it rains too much, it goes into the barrel and seeps. We got to do that before we can do the fence. The barrel should be arriving tomorrow. Ordered it off of Amazon. You know, I love Amazon, okay? Ordered the barrel and the vent that pops out. The vent is this big. So order them at the same time. Yesterday, we're having supper. Ding dong. I open it. There's an Amazon package this big, and it's the vent. I'm like, you guys couldn't have sent this in one shipment? Smaller carbon footprint. Probably less money spent in shipping on your end. I'm Amazon Prime, so I don't care, but really, guys, you know? It's like, Jesus. Winters, all is well. Winters, which microphone did you get, by the way? I think you got a Rode video mic, but which one was it? But anyway. You know what we're gonna do? Who's drinking aside from LT? Who's got a boozy? Who's got a brewski? Who's got suds? How many irritating chav-like terms can I come up with for beer? The Pro Plus, yeah, okay. I spent, you know, it's funny because I started talking to Simone about this because I've spent the past week trying to get that thing to work as my live stream camera. And, oh, Winters, you're using the Rode wireless lav mic. How much did that cost? Because I have a lav mic that I never use because there's so much wire on it that it's just irritating. Simone, no, we're hiring someone. As soon as the drywall arrives, I'm calling them and saying, come and do it. I've got some money left over after taxes. Oh, weird thing, man. Because I've spent 20 years as a freelancer. So to me, tax season, aside from being stressful as hell, because I don't do my damn accounting until the last month, to me, tax season has meant, over the past 20 years, writing a check for either the value of a couple of those cameras to, man, once it was like a car, a low-end car, like a Kia or something, you know? But, oh. So this year, I actually got money back. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. What do you do when you get, what do you mean I'm getting money back? Because I'm not freelancing anymore, right? And because the half of the year that I was freelancing, I was doing so poorly that, you know. Anyways, so we got a little bit of money, so we're just going to hire them to come and do the dig for us. And then I'll just, you know, putting the fence up is no problem. Scott's here. Hi, Scott. Hey, remember that time when every time someone came on, I sang their name? Scott! Remember that? That was irritating, right? I shouldn't do that tonight. I found it funny, though. I will admit, I did find it funny. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so, like, my approach from now on is going to be, I'm still going to buy old tools and restore them because I enjoy doing it. But it's not going to be, oh, I need a jointing plane. Oh, I'll buy this $25 jointing plane and, you know, bring it back to life. It'll be, oh, look at that old jointing plane. That would be a fun project. Because I'm just so damn tired of not getting my projects done. I'm so, man. And, like, look, it's not only stuff like that that slows me down. There are all kinds of factors. But, I mean, that's, if I can remove one factor, I'm going to call that a win. I can work on the other. You got to work on shit. You got to work on stuff one thing at a time, you know? That's my problem. I end up with this pile of things to do, and I get frozen, and nothing gets done. But the times when I'm like, take a breath, start with one thing, I generally find a way through everything, you know? Scott's got a shirt. Thank you, big guy. I appreciate the assistance. For the rest of you, there's a free shipping thing going on right now at Spreadshirt. Not right now. Tomorrow and the next day, free shipping if you're in, I think, Canada, the US, or Australia. Then on the 4th and 5th, I think there's a free shipping thing for the whole planet with the exact same code. I don't get it. But anyways, I realized that if you guys can't see me, it's because I'm looking for my Mora. I'm still here. Still here. Looking for my Mora. I'm looking for... It was exactly where it's supposed to be. That's the problem. I'm so messy that when something isn't lost, I don't know what to do. Yeah, no problem, Scott. What I was going to say about getting that thing to live stream is I don't think you need that device. I know what you're talking about. You need that if you go from the HDMI. I don't remember what it's called. I bought one on Amazon, then saw somewhere that it's not compatible with my camera, so I canceled the purchase just in case. But I did get I did a totally private live stream just to see, and I did get the picture going to the computer, but what I couldn't get was the picture and that mic. I was using OBS. Simo and I sort of bounced a few software ideas back and forth. I tried a bunch of things. There's a Wirecast Play app. What I'm using on the phone right now is Wirecast Go. There's an app called Wirecast Play, which works on the laptop. But unless I spend... There's a free version, there's a $10 version, and then there's like an expensive version. The $10 version kind of only takes the watermark off the screen that the free version puts there. But in order to use the camera of my choice instead of like one specific camera or the built-in camera, it's the expensive version. I love you guys, but I ain't making anything off of YouTube, so I'm not spending that kind of money on like a live streaming app just yet. OBS seems to work. It's like I have to spend some time with it because what I want that because you guys will get a better picture. If I get it with the mic going too, you guys will get better sound. I think I would call that a win, right? Oh, okay. I thought for a second there that I'd put the logo behind me. Yeah, Scott. The nice thing about Spreadshirt is, you know, you don't have to wait for me to get off my arse and ship a shirt out, right? Like, I never see them unless I buy one, which I don't consider a win, but, you know. So, like, I spent my money on this one, and the other one you guys have seen. But, I mean, it's pretty quick. If you're in the States especially, it's really fast. So then I tried with the camera plugged in, just by USB, okay? And I had my, I've got an audio interface that I use for, like, when I had a podcast, I hooked a mic up to it. And let me show you what I got. I won't bring the interface over because there's a lot of wires involved in that, but I'll be right back. I've got this, okay? This is a Blue Mic's Spark, okay? It's a no, it's not. It's not a USB. It's a XLR. It's a pro level mic. I bought it for doing like music, like vocal stuff. It's a good vocal mic. When I was running a podcast, which is still up, by the way, I was using this mic. If you want to hear the podcast, let me know. It's a podcast about science. I did it with a friend who was in Harvard at the time. He's getting his PhD in physics. For the theme song, we used music from a band that he and I had been in. It was a fun project. I would love to get back into podcasting. I've been listening to some outdoors, like Bushcraft podcasts lately. Do any of you guys listen to the Bushcraft podcasts? Serge. Oh, wait a minute. Serge, nice to see you. Man, I haven't seen Serge in person in years. Serge and I used to work together, like, what, 20 odd years ago? Before I burnt out of tech. Funny that I'm back in tech now. Outdoor, you didn't get a notification that the live stream was up. Last week I got a notification that the live stream was up. But I'd never gotten one before. But anyways, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, so I plugged that into my audio interface and into the computer. I had the camera going. The sound was really bad though, and that's a good mic, which I use for the podcast, right? I'm sort of reconstructing my train of thought here. I just got the funniest text message. But anyway, I'm not going to answer that right now. So yeah, I got to work it out. I'm having a bit of a time issue right now. I'm a little busy on stuff, but not as busy as I used to be. Are we cracking it open? Is everyone ready for a little drinky poo here? One day, I'm just gonna like, oh yeah, pop. One day. I'm learning skills on camera here. I'm learning to pop that off with a knife on camera. I'm learning to, I haven't had this yet, by the way. I've never tasted this honey brown. But I like honey browns. I like Quebec microbrew. I'm optimistic. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. I wish you guys could taste this. Oh, yeah. That is an epic one. Ah, I got a silver award at the World Beer Awards. Yep. Oh, so good. So good. Such a loud house. Anyways, that is an epic win. Yeah, Serge, yeah, you're probably right. Outdoor, no. No, I will not be ordering that. I will not be ordering that. That is too much money. And especially since I just... Whatever. Whatevs. What was I about to do? Oh, I've also been practicing. Two of you will find this funny. This. You guys remember the live stream where I had Simon and LT Survival on, and they were like, "Hey, you're getting better." It's because I suck at this. Maybe I don't suck at this, but I've been practicing. You know, I'm doing something. I'm like. But anyways, I'm still carrying this. This is my EDC all the time. Even though I've found the found that damn Leatherman again. That it hasn't gone back doing my EDC. This is. I realized that like, can you see it? Like where it is right there, it takes no room. Whereas with the Leatherman, I was always like popping it into my bag, or like throwing it in the glove box, which is where I found it. And since that car is being recycled right now, I'm glad I found it. Because, like, it was always, like, too much. It just took up too much room. It's not even that big, but it's, like, it's just a little thicker than this, you know? Wait, where are we? Yeah, Outdoor, he's not buying the hatchet yet either. Outdoor was on the phone with me earlier, and we were talking about, what were we talking about? Like, knives. Because he's got a really cool Canadian belt knife, which those of you who've been at the last two of these will know. Is that what we were talking about? I don't remember. Anyways, we were chatting. Oh yeah, and I was talking about I would like to get the, is it someone White? Jack White? No. It's a white stripe. Someone white makes a Nesmik style knife for 55 US bucks. Of course, then you add 16 US bucks for shipping. Becomes like a 75, whatever it is. It turns into like $100 knife once you get it here. His knives are nice, but they're not that kind of nice. But I still might buy it because that's right. What we were talking about, like I had said, I would like to do a video on a Nesmik trio. How many of you guys know what a Nesmik? Okay, that didn't happen. Take two. How many of you guys know what a Nesmik trio is? Just a show of hands. Jeff White, yes. Asset 7's here. Have you? How's it going? Am I pronouncing that right? Asset 7? Asset 7? Asset set? The word on my shirt backwards, yeah. It's because of this app. The whole thing is backwards. Like, for instance, I'm not really left-handed. I'm right-handed, but it mirrors. I don't know. I've looked in the settings and everything to fix it, but no love. It's part of the reason I'm looking to get that thing going as my live stream camera. You guys are funny. You guys are very funny. Congratulations on the funniness, guys. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah. Sorry, guys. I just totally zoomed my screen by accident. Oh, Ace T7. Okay. Outdoor Dauber nose. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, Nesmik had this tool trio. Okay, it was obviously a Nesmik style knife because, you know, yes, a little two-bladed folder. You know, like your grandpa used to have, like a large blade on one side, large, and then a tiny one on the other, and then a small double bit hatchet. Right, that's what the Nesmik trio is. And like, if you go to like Bushcraft USA or all those sites, you'll see that there's a lot of guys who have the Nesmik trio, but they don't all have an actual Nesmik trio. Like, they'll have, like, for the folding knife, they might have something like this, and then for the fixed blade knife, they might have something like this, and then they'll have like a little double-headed hatchet. Sometimes not. To me, a Nesmik trio is a Nesmik knife, a double-headed hatchet, and then that little grandpa style folding pocket knife. Well, and I mean, I've got the hatchet, right? Hell, I've got it twice. Right? Either of these would piss off. Either of these would fit. Right? If I want to show off, use this one. If I don't, use this one. And if I can pick up that, you know, one of those Jeff White $55 Nesmik knives, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got a small one, right? I've got a little Nessie. But for the trio, I kind of feel it should be the full-size Nessie, you know? I just love showing off this knife. You know, Jeff White's knives, I keep saying, they're really basic and they're rough. You know, they sure ain't jacklores, but they don't have to be. They're, for the price, epic win. And it's a look that I like too. It looks like this knife is 200 years old. You know, it's super basic. Cause you know what? In like whatever 1830, they didn't make knives with, you know, whatever advanced fiber spacers and mosaic pins and all that stuff. They, you know, you're sitting on the frontier. A knife is a basic piece of metal with some basic wood, and that's what I like about these Jeff White knives. But yeah, and hilariously, the full-size Nesmik is the same price as this was. This was 55 US bucks back when I bought it. Oh, I'm missing. Where are we? Yeah, Simone Outdoor, you guys are hilarious. Wait. Winders, how the hell did you know that Ace T7 was in Florida? Is there something in that name that I'm missing? Yeah, of course, Outdoor, I have to blow you guys off because you guys are like children. You're just bouncing around looking for attention. Right, yeah, Outdoor. Yeah, Outdoor says, even worse are the guys who do a Nesmuk trio vids with a backhoe or a bow saw and a Leatherman. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's not what a Nesmuk trio is. It's a very specific thing, you know? Well, I've already subscribed to Winder's Ranger, and now I'm going to have to go and subscribe to Ace T7 just to see what's going on. Somebody remind me to do that after the live stream. So good. Am I missing anything? Wow, Windows Ranger just brought up Columbo. You just aged yourself, dude. That's a classic, though, eh? Thank you. They don't make no TV like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Back in my day, TV was something else. Whoops. It's okay. It's only tongue oil. Tongue oil is really good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. Whenever I carve spoons, I used to use real delight. What the hell's it called? In English, what that called? Linseed oil, boiled linseed oil. This is what I used to use for spoons. But you know what? It doesn't cure. Whereas tongue oil, 100% pure tongue oil. This stuff cures, so it's just an extra little layer of protection. I mean, now granted, you gotta let it dry. You gotta let it cure, man. Let me take a look. Okay, Outdoors asking if I can show the Nesmuk hatchet. Let's see. I do believe I can. Now, if I get OBS and that camera set up, I'll be able to just go, yes, click, boop, and it'll come up on screen. That'll be nice. I will like that. Okay, let me see if I can find it. You want me to show the Nesmuk hatchet, right? On the Bay of Ease. It's pretty nice. Okay, let me move this so I don't knock it over. That'll be tragic. It'll be a tragedy. There we go. $400 US. It's got what is it? Flamed maple handle, I think. Emily Reeves. Nesmuk style, double bit, flamed maple handle. Yeah, flamed maple. I don't know. I mentioned this on the phone with with Dauber. I don't know how I feel about maple as an axe handle material. Simone's Nesmuk trio looks a lot like his Canadian belt knife, his Victorinox Ranger 74, and his Grands for small forest axe. Oh, Outdoor's gonna buy the Nesmuk knife. Oh yeah, yeah, you should. For the price, you can't beat them. Oh yeah, actually, what Simone just said is right. No, I used linseed oil for my axe handles. I used to use mineral oil. I used mineral oil for my spoons and my axe heads because I never knew when an axe was going to end up being used like to carve a spoon. So really early on, I stopped using any kind of oil on the head that was non-edible. So yeah, it's mineral oil I used to use on spoons, but it doesn't cure. So I switched over to tongue oil. Oh, I'm gonna be sad when this is over. Yeah, Outdoor thinks that a maple handle for something small would probably be okay. What I'm worried about is not the handle splitting, because I think it would be strong enough at that kind of length. What I'm worried about is what's it called, shock transfer, you know, into my hand. Because, you know, I ain't 20 no more. I'm just a little older than I used to be, and I gotta keep these babies in working order. Which is why I like hickory. I think I'm gonna like ash when I finally get my schedule set up where I can actually do that damn axe. Yeah, Simon, I don't even know if I'd use birch for an axe handle. I'd use it for a knife handle. Especially if I'm doing like a like a curly birch or something, just because it's beautiful, but I think this is elm. Like, when it comes to knives, you can do so many more things because you're not worried about shock transfer, you know? Yeah, this is a Ben Orford carving knife. And I think that's an elm handle. But it's been oiled. When this came, the smell of the boiled linseed oil or whatever oil he puts on was strong, man. It sort of disappeared. Yeah, it's a good little knife. I don't know if you guys know Ben Orford, but Ben and Lois Orford are amazing to do business with. They're in the UK, so, you know, exchange and shipping and blah, 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 but I would spend money at their place again in a Montreal minute. This knife went through the wash in a cargo pocket. The pants strangely didn't end up destroyed. The cargo pocket did have a hole, but this was wrecked. It was destroyed. The knife I brought back into business because the edge had been like mangled, you know, and this was destroyed. And I wrote them a note. And I said, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed, but went through the wash. I got the knife back into working order, but the sheath is wrecked. How much for a new one?" And they sent me this one for free. They said, "Listen, the sheath is worth like, it's worth £8 or whatever it was. Whatever it was." They said, "Don't pay us for it. Make a donation to the charity of your choice and let us know what it was." So I did. And because of that, I will buy another tool from them at some point. I just don't know what. But I'm going to buy another Ben Orford tool. This stuff is nicely made, nicely ground, and I feel really good about them as people to do business with. Let me see. Excuse me. Oh, I'm getting late here, folks. Man, there's only 5 of us on tonight, eh? Outdoor, you don't think it's Jeff selling those knives on eBay? It's funny because it's the exact same price, but I don't know. Yeah, hickory or ash. Yeah, Winders is Ace 27. Yeah, hickory. Yeah, especially if you guys in the States, man, that's where hickory comes from, right? Like, we don't have a lot of hickory up here, but we do have a lot of ash for the next 30 seconds until the emerald ash borer takes the rest of it out. Second day of a month-long trip. That's a long time for well, you know, if the birch handle worked, then, you know, I remember seeing Ray Mears replace an axe handle with something like completely inadequate. And I don't know if it was birch or pine or something, but like he was just doing a spot on like the French trade axe and how, you know, they were made to be to knock the head on, knock the head off, so that if you broke a handle in the woods, you just knocked the head off and built a new handle out of any tree you could find, right? And it's funny because stuff like that always reminds me that if you take 200 years off of today's date, they're not going crazy over hickory. They're going crazy over getting from this small hamlet to the trapping, to a good trapping spot. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I broke my axe handle. There's a tree, right? There's a tree with a curve in a branch. That's what it was. This, hickory or whatever. It's. No, I'm being unfair. I think there's a lot of history behind making hickory handles. I don't think it's ancient, I think that in situations where people were making axes for sale, maybe it was different. But I can guarantee you that a coureur de bois, a voyageur, or a mountain man, if they broke an axe handle, they sure as hell weren't trying to hunt down a hickory tree. Where was I? Oh, I'm getting late on the... Serious, yeah. If you're gonna rehandle a knife, go for it, man. It's not like it's not like a half-hour job, but it's doable, And if you want to swap out a faux wooden handle for like real wooden scales, you will enjoy that knife even more after. This was my grandpa's knife, and I did some work on it. Right, it creates a link between you and grandpa. Oh, so good. Outdoor, if you spent $400 on that hatchet, would it get any woods time, or would you just put it on the wall? This is the part where you say, bitch, I don't collect. That axe would get out there and be chopping wood, man. No pressure, but that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, amen to that. Jack Downs would be screwed if you guys ever run out of hickory. That's true. Huh. And birch does yield chaga. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like we didn't grow up with hickory. When I say we, I mean Canada. I don't mean Simon and I. And the French didn't grow up in hickory. The whole thing, you look at a Hudson Bay style axe, and that is based on the French trade axe, essentially, right? Hence the name Hudson Bay. Well, the French and probably the English trade axe, because French and English trade axes were slightly different. But the fact is, if you're trading these axe heads and stuff, like, hickory was not part of the trade landscape when this country was being cobbled together by des coureurs de bois, des voyageurs, fur traders, the French and the English fighting over the land, Hudson's Bay Company, and what was the other one? It was another, there were two massive corporations fighting over the country. Nobody was bringing in pallets full of hickory, for axe handles. And the country was still built. Outdoor, you're absolutely right. And if I spent $400 US on that hatchet, I'd probably be sleeping on your couch. And then we'd both be using them in the woods. Oh, you like the hand drills? Ace T7? Yeah, I do too. And it's funny because those hand drills are indicative of what I was saying before, that if I get a tool that needs to be brought back to life, I want that to be the project. I don't want that to be a step towards making a project happen. And both those I had to do. No, one of those I did some work and brought it back from the dead. Absolutely, it was in ruinous condition. The other one I'm gonna do probably this summer. Maybe I'll do it on camera. Simo, man, you know what? I want to build a cabin in the woods. I want to do a cabin, a small one, man, just a pure Dick Prenicky. Well, I guess nowadays we would say Sean James. You know, pull a Sean James, build a cabin, man. Build an outhouse. And just relax a bit. Modern life is so stressful. So damn stressful. That is the truth. My Black Diamond Ewing hatchet doesn't have a handle yet, guys. I haven't had time to even finish researching that. Oh. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? When I paid my last taxes as a freelancer at the end of April, when was it, like April 27th or 28th, I went to, no, this is not going to be another belch-written live stream, but when I went and I paid off my last taxes, like I had stopped working as a freelancer, but I still had that last chapter hanging over my head. Gotta pay off the, I gotta pay for last year. And when I paid off those taxes and I walked out of the Revenu Quebec office, I felt like I was walking on sunshine. It's just like something was lifted off of me. 2 decades of stress, just, And what does that mean? Well, what that means is no more nights of going to bed at 2 because someone said, look, it's 3 p.m. We got a rush job we need for 9. Can you do it? And me being trained in the art of being a good freelancer, you never say no. All that's behind me, So technically, I do have time to do things, but it's like, what happens is, I used to start my freelancing, after, say, Camille's swimming lesson or a soccer lesson or whatever, But I still have those things to do. So by the time I get to the time that I have free, miraculously these days, I still can't make any noise. So it's not like I can fire up the chop saw or the thickness planer at 8:30 or 9 p.m. So like I've suddenly got all this time. No, I've suddenly got time. But some of the projects aren't really progressing any faster, because some of the stuff I like to do is weekends only. But I'm doing miraculously well on Mass Effect Andromeda. Huh? Oh, well, I'm getting... hold on. First burp of the night, yep. You guys are keeping... Who else is drinking, by the way? I know LT Survival is. He's having a good beer. He's having the Alchemist Red. No, we're not keeping count. We're not keeping count. We don't keep count. You don't count what someone eats or drinks. That is rude. Okay? That is rude. Okay? Rude. You know, one thing I wouldn't mind doing, if I stick with using this as my vlogging, live streaming cam, so I wouldn't mind using this as the mic. I just need to get like this tripod set up. The tripod itself is pretty good. It's a Joby Gorilla Pod, but the iPhone attachment is terrible, and it doesn't have like a cold shoe on it. If I can get something for the iPod that has a cold shoe on it and stick this baby on there somewhere, that would be good, because that would improve my sound massively. This is what I used to use on the SLR, and I'm thinking of selling it now that I've got a new mic, but I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking I should, but I've been doing really well selling things I don't use anymore this year. Sold my old DSLR, you know, after I got the ADD. I sold my old iPhone gimbal, the one that I did the video about in, I think it was December. So maybe I will sell that. I mean, get the stuff out to someone who's going to use it, right? Don't just hoard it here and let it gather dust. What duster? Outdoor, what are you talking? What duster? Oh, it's not a duster, you fool. It's a microphone. You talk into it and it makes the sound go. This actually is a separate part, a separate piece. This is what they call a dead cat. It's to keep wind from in your footage. It's a really simple invention, but man, they're spectacularly good. That dead cat has saved footage for me on more than one occasion. Wait, Winders, can you put a link, but like put spaces before the dots or something to get it to work? Because I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Lines cleaner. You guys are just hilarious. You know that? What else I have over there, which I'm not going to show you because it's buried under stuff, is I have an old 80s era Black & Decker bandsaw, the engine of which is a corded power drill that's stuck in the bottom. They apparently sold these for not too long, and the drill spins, which spins whatever it is, the gears inside, and makes the bandsaw go. It's a terrible saw. I can see why they don't sell them anymore. But I don't know. I'm thinking of just putting that on the curb and saying, "Take me, I'm free." Because I got to start off-gassing some of the stuff I don't use, you know? Oh yeah, that's right. Spaces don't help. But this is why I made Simon a... what the hell is it called? Not a manager, but a... whatever. Who cares? Gripped. Oh, yeah? That looks cool. Oh, comes in orange. How much is this? Buy from Amazon.com, which means that it'll be cheap as hell, and then when I try to ship it here, it'll be expensive as crap. Oh, $30. This item ships to Montreal, Canada. Alright, I would buy the orange. I like orange as an accent color. It's a good way to have stuff that I can find, because I lose stuff all the time. So they make a cold shoe adapter for this? I like it. Wait, let me see. I'm not finding anything about the adapter. One size fits all. Yes. Tripod adapter, yes. Suit your style. Comes in 4 colors. I don't care. What I'm looking for is a cold shoe adapter, fool. What the hell's Crowd Supply? Oh, that's their That's a pretty cool invention, dude. I like it. Okay, where am I? Sarah, you want the bandsaw? The Black & Decker saw? You can probably get it working. You know. In fact, it's probably just that I haven't tightened it up enough. But yeah, if you want it, come get it. Sales, you can get in touch with me through any of the media that you know I'm on. Oh, alright, Ace T7. Thanks for coming out, and have a good sleep. I'll speak to you later. Come out next week again, okay? Oh, I see. Okay, Wenders, I thought you meant that there was an adapter for it. Okay, so good. Serge's gonna have the bandsaw. I like it. I like it if I know that it's going to someone who's going to use it. Serge is pretty handy. How's my little spoon going? How are we doing, Spoony Spoony? What? Why did I say that? You guys didn't hear that, okay? Simone, don't worry about it. I've got another bandsaw now. I came into one purely by accident. That is like a traditional. It's got an engine on it. It's not fantabulous. It's a Ryobi, so it'll work great for 5 years and then stop, but I'll get 5 years use out of it. Win, right? Especially because I'm going to be using it. Now that it's finally warmed up a little bit, I can go into the garage and work. I'm going to use it to get this knife handle done. I'm going to use a hacksaw here. I'm not using my bandsaw on that. I'm going to use a hacksaw here. And then... Don't judge me because I'm beautiful. Wait, what? LT Survival. Gear Best. Photo accessories. Let me see. Oh, whoops. What the hell's Gear Best? Sorry, I cannot find server. What's going on here? Hold on. GearBest dot photo studio accessories / maybe that's gearbest.com / photo blah blah blah. Yeah / photo studio accessories, right? Is that gonna work? Oops, sorry, the page you're looking for could not be found. Damn you, sir. Hold on, what was it called? Gripped, right? Gripped. No, come on, man. Give me some love here. Rotary motor tattoo machine gun grip. Not quite what I'm looking for. Phone accessories. Okay. I'm looking, but I ain't finding. Well, there's only 2 pages, so it doesn't matter. If I don't find it on this page, I'll know it doesn't exist. Damn it. Damn it. Where is it? Well, here's a little mini tripod for $9. What's going on here? Stands and holders? I don't know. Guys, I don't know. Wait. GearBest has one in metal. GearBest Photo Studio Accessories. PP. What is going on here? Okay, let me see. Mobile phones. No. Photo Studio Accessories. Tell you what, I'll worry about this later. I'll take a deeper dive, take a look for it, see what I can find. Because right now I'm just not paying any attention to you guys because I'm trying to find this stuff, and I'm not getting it tonight, so it don't matter. It don't matter. Sent the link versus MSN. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my land, that's cute. Sorry guys, just got a text off from the wife. Lanzi STO3 foldable metal smartphone tripod mount for iPhone, Samsung with hot shoe mount from Micro. Okay, that's what I'm gonna look for. But this is taking my attention away from the live chat. Oh yeah, okay. That might be a win. It just might be a win. So yeah, where was I? What were we talking about? We were talking about tools. I was bitching and moaning about the fact that I don't want to be, let me just get back. Yeah, okay. LT is, we're just reading the link. Forget it, Outdoor. It ain't going to happen. Yet. One thing that I really do want to get into working order, though, is this thing here. I really do. I mean, I've shown it to you guys a number of times here. I've looked at some, I've looked at, you know, no, okay, it's not going to happen. I've looked at a bunch of, like, YouTube videos on how to restore these and everything, and, yeah. And, if I had a jointer, I'd be a whole lot less scared of doing that. If I had a jointer, there's a lot of things I would be doing. I have some very spectacular wood over there that is not true. It's not in true. It's not in square. And I've been working at it, and I finally just stopped until I'm better with a plane or I've got a jointer. Because I don't want to waste... Jeffrey Videos, hey guys, all is well, he says. Hope is all is well. All is well, how are you? We're just chatting. The guys are making fun of me, as usual. I'm drinking a spectacularly good honey brown. But yeah, I would love to get that thing up and going. But I'm not doing it until I have access to a jointer. Because the thing is, like, some people are like, well, who cares? Just get rid of this. Just put a new, you know. No. No, to me, this is part of the original tool. So I don't mind taking off a very, very thin layer and putting a new sole on it of some like super hard wood or a rosewood or something. But I don't want to ruin this. I want to remove as little of it as possible. You know? I'm not going to throw the jointer on every surface, right? All I will do is the bottom. I may scrape off the varnish and put new on. Excuse me. But I will do as little to this as possible, because to me, an ancient tool is a sacred item. I don't want to bastardize it any more than I have to, if I have to, you know? When you get to stuff that's more like this, you know, if this was missing a piece and I got a piece off another one and slapped it on, I'm a little less rabid about that. But when the tool is like a transitional plane or something like that, I want to keep it as original as possible, you know? An 8-inch jointer, yeah, man. Jeff is having a rolling rock outdoor. He's got a 6-inch jointer, which is probably what I would try to get, but even then, it's a lot of money. You know, they're not cheap. I have a little 4-inch jointer that we got off of Kijiji, but it doesn't work. The engine sparked and spewed out smoke and then just stopped. And it needed work anyway. Like, it needed adjustments and stuff. Stuff like that. I just want to buy something that has a warranty, I think. Or buy one that is absolutely rock solid and works. I have so many respectable old power tools that are in non-working order that I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it. It's just they just take up space and they get in the way when I'm like, geez, I wish I had a jointer. I'm done. Simo's got an 8-inch. Jesus Christ. Scott's drinking a Bass. Nice. Yeah, Simo, I need like an engine, a motor. You know what I really want though is a little 1-inch by whatever belt sander with a platen on it. I keep looking at them. I keep looking at them, and it's amazing. Did I talk about this last time? That there was a little 1-inch by 36 or whatever. You know, the little one that has a belt that goes like this, a little platen on it. And I think there's a disc sander on this side, but who the hell ever uses the disc sander, right? But like in the States, it's $63, and in Canada, it's $263, or it's $163 or something. And I was like, well, really? What's going on here, guys? Yeah, outdoor. I also had carpenter days. When Outdoor and I were on the phone earlier, we were yapping about work, and he works in the construction sector. I'm not going to tell all his stories for him because I don't know how much he wants me telling you, but when I was a kid, my first summer job, and then for 5 summers, it ended up, it was in carpentry. Not commercial stuff. We were working on houses. And like, I got some funny stories. You know, we used to work on... There was this one time we were working... Because my dad was a carpenter. And then he became a building inspector for the city of West Vancouver. And then he retired. And now he's living a great life while I struggle to survive. But anyways... one day we were working on we were redoing the cedar siding on a house in the British properties. Okay, if those of you who don't know Vancouver, the British properties was a large piece of mountainside, essentially owned by the Guinness family, which is, by the way, are the family that funded the construction of the Lionsgate Bridge across the Burrard Inlet, which connects Vancouver to West Van and North Van and all those towns. So we're Simo, I can't build a 2x72 sander. I would love to, but I don't do metal work. If I did, hell yeah, because I've been watching YouTubes on how to do it. And I would love to, but I just, you know. Where was I? Oh yeah, so my dad and I are working, because he got me my start in carpentry, and I worked with him a lot as well. So we're working on a job. We're redoing the cedar siding on this house, this beautiful house, and it's got this meadow, essentially, smallish meadow, with a stream going through it. And so my dad and I are sitting on a log near the stream eating our lunch, and there's a flock of Canada geese. Canada geese, by the way, they're not called Canadian geese. They're Canada geese. So there's a bunch of Canadas there hanging around, honking at each other, picking foodstuffs out of the grass. My dad and I are sitting there, and where I live, you never see these things. There are parts of the island of Montreal where you see them. Out west, you see them a lot. When you get out to like Oka across the water, or like maybe Hudson or whatever, like in Oka, where my mother-in-law lives next to the lake, when there's like 60,000 of these freaking geese out there, close the damn windows, man, because they're so loud. But I'm sitting out there in Vancouver, where they see these things all the time. I don't know geese from Shinola, right? So I'm sitting there eating my sandwich. There's a goose over there, so I take a piece of the sandwich off and throw it to him. I don't, you know, and he eats it, and then, and suddenly we're surrounded by this flock of geese. And we're standing there, and my dad's like, "Why'd you do that?" And we're standing there holding our food, and these geese are like hissing at us, and one takes a peck at my leg, and you know they've got that little hook at the end of the bill or something. So I'm bleeding. So my dad and I look at each other, and we just throw the food as far as we can, and the geese dunk, 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 and they go off and what? Get the food, and we just bolt for the car. And he has his thermos of coffee, and I have my thermos of tea, and that was the rest of our lunch that day. Because, you know, city boy didn't know that you don't throw a crumb into a flock of geese. That's not the worst of my stories, but it is one of the funnier ones. Let me just catch up on the, yeah, no, we don't have Harbor Freight here. In some provinces, they've got something called, oh, thank you, Simon, Princess Auto. Yeah, I hear their stuff ain't great. Worked as a laborer and a residential contractor in high school and college. Yeah, so Outdoor made a thing of construction, and you know he's now a like a manager. Yeah, that's the thing. Like what Outdoor says, like I wouldn't mind picking up a 1x37 as a beginning knife grinder for this thing. Right? I want to get this thing done. I cut this 2 years ago now. So I want to get like just a little beginner's knife grinder. Get a jig done up. Almost did. Get a jig done up. Just sort of, you know, do this. And I got another one around here. I think it's in the garage. A much longer one that I've already annealed. And I'm going to cut that into a knife as well. I meant to do that. Something, you know, longer than this. Yeah. Like, if I had unlimited funds, I would just buy a knife maker's grinder. Because you can use it for anything. It doesn't have to be used for knife making, but, you know, if I have thousands, I'm going to spend them on, I would like to get a drone. I'm going to have to get another car. You know, life's expensive. You know, if I have enough thousands, spend it on a night of, you know. Okay, YouTube. I just got a notice for a video called Cat Protects His Human. I don't know what YouTube is trying to show me these days. I don't get it. It's like there's something off in the algorithm. Wow, Outdoor, you started yours 9 or 10 years ago? Yeah, you do have to get back to it. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, just a real simple one. Because what I'm thinking of doing is like not flat grinding, maybe almost flat grinding, but I want to keep some of the file texture at the top, you know. Yeah, you know, it's like I don't want to smooth it all out. I want it to be obvious that this was a file at one point. So keep some of the file texture up at the top, but like maybe from about there. From about there, oops, there on down. Make it smooth. I mean, I don't think I want to do anything fancy like a convex or anything, because I want to do my first knife, so I want to do it as simple as possible, you know? Outdoor, you're probably right. They're watching us. Yeah, I'm as sad as I thought I'd be. Nectarius. It's a Quebec beer, right? So of course there's a story on the side. In fact, yeah, no? Okay. I thought it was the same company as Corbeil. Because I just noticed that looks like an Egyptian head or something in the bee. In ancient Egypt, the belief was that bees were born out of the tears of the sun god Ra. Honey was often used there to flavor and add a divine or curative nature to many beverages and foods. More than 5,000 years ago, Egyptians were already making a grain-based beer to which honey was frequently added. It is in the honor of ancient Egypt and the tears of their sun god that we brew our Nectarius. With its wildflower honey notes and lightly roasted cereal flavors, both of which I definitely detected. Our honey brown ale is delightful and has a mellow bitterness and a malty, slightly sweet finish. Yes, very malty, definitely sweet. I'm on record as saying I like malty way better than I like hoppy. That was Win. That was a bottle of Win. Anyway, what else would I... Oh! I also wanted to mention Fox Company prepping. How many of you guys know Fox Company prepping? Because Ron hasn't been on and he hasn't been doing the YouTube-y thing for like a year. So how many of you remember Fox Company prepping? Okay, Fox Company, he did a lot of YouTubing up until about a year ago. His computer went kablooey, blah, blah, blah. His life kind of seemed to get a little high octane. Anyways, he was off the YouTubes for a year. He's very active on Facebook because he has a leatherwork business. He's in Edinburgh, in Scotland. He's in Edinburgh. He does leather. He does fairly good leather, in fact. It's quite good. The prices are reasonable. They're not out of hand, you know. Anyways, so after a year of not being here, I'm bringing him up because usually, or not usually, but sometimes in these chats, there are like 2 or 3 guys who used to be, who used to follow him and know him, and yeah, that's what I meant. And he used to have these Google Hangouts, these panel discussions, and a couple of these guys used to be on them a lot, and so did I. Anyways, this Friday he's having one, and he's coming back to YouTube, and I think that's great because I love that guy. Now here's the thing. he's a prepper. He's a prepper. He's in Scotland, so he's a prepper. He's not a prepper. And he's a little tinfoil hatty. And that kind of thing fairly often just kind of pisses me off. What? Pisses me off. But with him, he's such a great guy. It's part of his story, you know? It's part of like the magic, the Ron Swanson magic. Obviously Ron Swanson's not his real name. You know, but I don't know what his real name is. Nobody does. It's a mystery. But anyways, Friday he's gonna have another one of his Friday he's gonna have another one of his panel discussions. And I'm hoping, because he's in Scotland, I don't know what kind of time it's gonna be at, but I'm hoping I can either get in on it or at least listen to it for a while, because it's never a dull moment when that guy's talking on screen, man. Never is. In the best and the worst ways you could possibly imagine. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to having Ron back. When I was underemployed, I would talk to him every morning. Well, it was morning Montreal. It was morning Montreal time, but like 5 hours later Scotland time. But I used to talk to him like every day. I love that guy, and I'm glad he's back on the YouTubes. Or I'm glad he's gonna be back on the YouTubes. Wait. Pink Princess Unicorn. If we say that 3 times fast, will YouTube implode? Pink Princess Unicorn. WNP 4 NSH 3 in the third. This is a hockey thing, right? It's got to be a hockey thing. Is NSH Nashville? And then WNP... I don't know. WNP? I don't know. Yeah, Sarah says 2 young girls. I have 1. Go Pens. See, I don't know the sports that well. I know the football, otherwise known as the soccer. I know the German national team. I know the Montreal's team. I know that it's the beautiful game. And I know rugby. I know the All Blacks, which is the national team of New Zealand. I like sports when it's national teams, because I find that city level teams, they don't represent shit, dude. They don't represent stuff, dude. What they represent is money. Because if you look at the Habs, how many of those team members are from Montreal? If you look at Toronto, the Leafs, how many of them are Torontonians? You look at Boston, pick a city, and almost all of them are just, they're just buying talent and they're moving it around. Way back when hockey was a bunch of Montrealers taking the toast out of a bunch of Torontonians or Bostonians, fine. I haven't paid attention to hockey since Carbonneau, okay? Those of you who don't know anything about the Habs probably don't care what I just said. Those of you who know what the Habs used to be will know exactly what I just said. And it's like, because back then it wasn't a Hollywood game. 2 guys taking the piss out of each other. No, not taking the piss, because that's verbal. 2 guys like taking each other down on ice was not the money shot of the game. You know, I haven't paid attention to hockey since then. You know, and even like in sports I enjoy, like footy or like rugby, I only care when it's national teams, because everyone on that team is from that country or emigrated to that country. Do you know what I'm saying? Team Canada is full of Canadian citizens. Team USA is full of Americans. The German team is full of German kids or adults. And so when you see those teams go against each other, they represent what their jerseys say. That's the only time I give a crap about sports in any way. And even then on hockey, because the NHL has poisoned it for me so hard, I kind of don't care. You know? But anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. Where was I? Wait. Oh no. Okay. The fluff on my YouTube account on my Apple TV. Ron Swanson is Nick O from it. Yeah, but it's not that Ron Swanson. Oh, Winnipeg. So the Jets. Because we are talking hockey, right? Jets. Tyler. Have a good night, mister. Nice to have you around. Jeffrey videos go Winnipeg. I will say that when the Jets arrived, when the team, when Winnipeg got the Jets back, I was happy to see that, purely because the Winnipeg Jets were a team when I was a kid. I'm glad that they didn't go back to the old logo, but I was glad to see the Winnipeg Jets appear as a team, purely because when I was living in Winnipeg, the Jets were a team. And, but at the end of the day, who cares? And also, I don't watch TV. I'm too busy trying to keep up with the YouTubers who I like, the YouTubers who are subscribed to me. I try to watch them back, and just like stuff. I can't be yawning already, man. I've still got like 35 minutes of this to get through. There are certain YouTube videos that I watch over and over and over again. The Ray Mears one where he travels across Canada. He doesn't travel across Canada. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, well, the Ray Mears in Canada series. I found it on YouTube. There's a channel that has it. I'll watch that anytime. The one where he's canoeing. Like his canoe journey one. Man, anything by Ray Mears, I've watched them all millions of times. It's like my comfort food. I will watch it anytime. But it's funny that what I used to consider my YouTube comfort food has changed a bit. It used to be that my every day, every morning with my morning tea, or late morning or whatever, every day I would watch Philip DeFranco, I would watch Casey Neistat, and I would watch Wrangler Star. Philip DeFranco I still watch every day. He's pretty right-wing on some things, he's pretty left-wing on other things, and that's kind of what I like about him, is that you can't really pigeonhole him. Sometimes he pisses me off, other times he doesn't, and I respect that, because I find that if my Twitter feed, if the last Canadian election had gone the way my Twitter feed sounded, we would have had like an NDP majority government. And that's because online, we all live in our own little echo chambers. And so the reason I watch Philip DeFranco is that whether he pisses you off or not, he has a real literate approach to everything that he talks about. And he is beyond my echo chamber on a lot of things. And I feel that we have to start, as just citizens of the internet, and as people who need to stop being blindsided when stuff doesn't go the way we think it's going to go. I think we all have to start paying a lot more attention to the other side. I think we have to start subscribing to the Twitter feeds of people who we don't agree with. So, for some people, that would be, Tommy Lauren, who, whether you're right-wing or left-wing, she's a dumb bunny. Doesn't matter. Not, if you're a lefty, you should be following her just to understand because here's the problem, right? The lefties and the righties, they think that the left thinks that the right eats their babies for lunch, and the right thinks that the left are going to nationalize Beyonce. And the fact is, neither of these things are true. Although it would be funny if they nationalized Beyonce. But you know what I'm saying? And we have to understand what the other side is where the other side is coming from, because not because we want to bring them around to our thinking, and not because we're looking to go around to their thinking, but because of the fact that their mothers and dads love their kids same as you do. And at the end of the day, they're also affecting the future of Canada and the United States and the UK and France and Switzerland and Egypt and the Congo and Australia and New Zealand and South Africa, right? Like, and it's like Facebook has created such a massive, like, gravity sink for what I call, and I'm not alone in this, and I didn't make it up, outrage culture. People who are just professionally outraged about everything. And I'm 45 years old. Half my life is over, if I'm lucky. And I don't want to spend my time outraged all the time anymore. I don't have that time. I don't have it. If something pisses me off, I want to deal with it, be an asshole about it right now, and boom, gone. I don't want to be yanking my chain about something that I should never have even been pissed off about in the first place. I don't feel that I have the time anymore. I feel that I'm late on everything I do. I feel I'm late on YouTube. You know, part of the reason I'm so upset that I can't get past 2144 or 45. Actually, I hit a peak there. You know, the part of the reason it bugs me that I can't get past that is because I feel that I'm late. In everything I do, I feel that I'm running to catch up to the start line, you know? So, on my Twitter feed, I have some very left-wing people, and I have some very right-wing people, and I have some middle people. I have some people who like stuff that I just don't like. Because I want to know what everyone's thinking, because I'm tired of just hating people for no bloody reason. I think that if I understand what the other side is talking about, then at least we can have the discussion. Because, you know, like, when one side, you know, like in a Canadian context, when the Conservatives, you know, whenever someone, an NDP voter would be talking, and, you know, the Conservatives just called you pinkos, or, you know, talked about Taliban Jack, because Jack Layton was the head of the party. It's like, as soon as you get to name calling, you don't have to engage. You don't have to solve anything. I don't got nothing to solve. That bitch over there is the problem. Well, except that the problem is that bitch over there saying the same thing about the bitch over here. You know what I'm saying? And man, my daughter is growing into a world that sucks. And if there's any hope, it's too late for me, but if there's any hope in her living in a world that isn't an absolute horror show, then I think that's worth striving for in any small little way. Any small little way. So I make sure that I have some friends whose political views are completely contrary to mine. I don't have any Nazi friends, I will say, though. I don't go that far. I mean, I've got a lot of brilliant theories, but I ain't gonna put my money where my mouth is on, like, Holocaust denial or Nazism or, you know, certain things like that. I don't know any straight-up communists either, I don't think. It's getting harder to find a communist. And wait. Hold on. Oh no, I'm so late on the conversation. Okay, they're saying bye to Tyler. Simone doesn't have time to watch TV. Yeah, me neither. Dora watched something on Netflix. Simone doesn't have Netflix either. I have Netflix. My girls have Netflix. I pay for Netflix, but my girls have Netflix. I started watching Planet Earth 2. Because when Planet Earth came out, the BBC Nature series, Planet Earth. Like, I'm a film geek, right? Because I went to film school. That show got me where I lived, man. That show, just like every episode I watched, I had a lump in my throat. And I had, you know, that tingly feeling when you're experiencing something that is fundamentally powerful. that show did it for me, man. Oh, whew. So now that Planet Earth 2 is on Netflix, but now I kind of want a 4K TV. My TV is like 9 years old, and LCD TVs, apparently the expected lifespan is only like 5 years. We've kept it going for like a decade, but it is starting to give up the ghost, and the PS3 is starting to give up the ghost too. But anyways, so on the Netflixage, I've been watching the Planet Earth 2, and I've just been loving it. I love that stuff anyway, though. I love it because I'm not very well traveled. You know, I said on my vlog, not RaindanceBushcraft, but YouTube/C/Jesse Corbeil, an episode where Camille and I went to the Bronx Zoo down in New York City. I just quickly mentioned that I have what's called Mal d'Afrique. Like I've wanted to see like Africa for as long as I can remember. But like I'm not well traveled. I've been to France, you know, I've been to the States. I've been across Canada, which is very well traveled in terms of kilometers. But like, man, the stuff on these series, just I can't look away. I can't look away. I've never been to these places. I've always wanted to go to these places, and these animals that I've never seen are doing things that I've never seen an animal do, and anyway. So that's what I've been watching lately. I also recently watched the first episode of Lost in Space, just because I remember when I was young. The original... Yep. Sorry, guys. The original Lost in Space was already an old show then, right? Because it was, I think, black and white when it started. So I watched the first episode. At some point, I'll get around to watching episode 2. But yeah, so, like, I like watching stuff like that. Planet Earth. Like, or when Discovery was a science station, they used to have, like, you know, the universe, you know, how stars work, stuff like that. And I'd watch any of that. Because if I wasn't innumerate, I would have loved to have been an astrophysicist or an astronomer. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I watch. Let me just get back. Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, oops, sorry, back to... Simon doesn't have Netflix. He has an Apple TV, music, podcast, and YouTube. Outdoor, what are you talking about? It's about a guy who builds a supercomputer camera network to watch everyone in the U.S. for the government. He uses it for good. It still makes you wonder what's out there. Where the hell am I? Who's Bouncy? Did I say Bouncy? Sorry. 10 years ago I predicted that Facebook bring the Western civilization to an end. I think you're probably right. Outdoor. You never know what middle age is until you get to the end. Outdoor. I kind of liked Bernie Sanders, actually. You know, the thing is, something that Simone just said is Outdoors never bought a TV. The TV we have now is the first one I ever bought. We didn't even have a TV. When I was a kid, we didn't have a TV, and then we had like a black and white TV, and the knob was off, so you had to change the channel with a pair of needle nose pliers. Remember TVs that had UHF and VHF? And we had that way into like the modern world. And we finally, I remember when we finally got a color TV, man, we were the last people in the universe to get a color TV. It was like a big furniture thing. But yeah, between that and like the TV upstairs is the first one we ever bought. Jazz and I, the missus and I bought it together. Like, it's got to be like 10 years ago now. Yeah. Where am I? Simone loves Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Man, I love Vermont. I think Canada should annex Vermont because they are the most Canadian of states. I do know that Washington would hate it if we annexed Vermont, so I don't really make a point of talking about it too much. But man, and I would love to have a cabin in Vermont. Yeah, Simon was right. IBM was right. There's a market for 5. It's funny because I was writing a piece on a news piece for a client back when I was still freelancing on the cannabis companies that are cropping up in Canada, right? Like big marijuana grow ops in prep for, like right now they're all doing medical, but in prep for when marijuana is decriminalized. Well, it's legalized, in fact. I think it's this summer or something. There are all these companies that are set up and they're on the stock exchange and blah, blah, blah. And this thing I was doing a piece on was just one of the professors at McGill, an economics guy, was talking about how, what will happen is what happens in every industry. In cars, you had a bazillion car companies, and you went down to 3 in the States, and now one of those 3 is actually Italian-owned, right? Although I think they've moved the legal headquarters to London, and the day-to-day running of the company headquarters to Detroit, I think. But anyways. So Fiat is, I guess, not an Italian company anymore, but like the American car company Spectrum, and the same thing happened in Europe, right? And the same thing is still in some ways happening in the computer industry, right? You had a bajillion computer companies, and just right. Where's Compaq? Gone. Where's Sun? Tragically gone. Where's SGI? That's not a computer company anymore, no matter what the hell you say. I mean, it is, but they don't do like those beautiful workstations they used to. And like and even they've been bought, right? It's like in every industry, you go from endless choice to 3 or 4 big players dictating everything. And that is going to be happening in the cannabis industry up here, probably pretty quickly, And yeah, so I mean that happened in computers. It's happening in telecom, right? Because we went from one telecommunications provider here to 3, and then suddenly there were a bunch because the CRTC changed the rules, and then the big 3 bought everyone else. Boom. There goes your choice. And so, everything, Hold on. Person of interest. Okay. I'll take a look. I don't know if that's going to be on Netflix.ca, though. The licensing is different. Tragically, the same is true of Amazon Prime Video. When I realized that my Amazon Prime membership included the video, I was like, sweet, I'm going to watch The Expanse. Oh, it's not available on Canadian Prime. Fudge. But anyways, let me see. Vermont is closer, I'm more inclined to get there. Good point. 10 yawns now. Oh, we're counting that too? Great. I don't want to annex Massachusetts. Maybe we could take Massachusetts. It's not bad. Jeff takes a drink every time I take a yawn. Ooh. You're going to be drunk, dude. Uh-oh. Outdoor's got a computer joke. Wait. Jeff, our video is halfway there. Okay. Yeah, we should take Washington as well. Maybe even Colorado. I don't know. No, come on, Outdoor. Let's have the computer joke. You have 18 minutes. Oregon's nice too, right? Did you know that computers in Bible times? No, I didn't know that. I'm waiting for this punchline. No, I didn't know they had computers. Eve had an apple, Adam had a wang. Oh, God. I don't even... That is excremental, dude. That is excremental. That's horrible. Spoon. Spun. Anyway. Outdoor Dauber's pretty funny tonight. Just gonna show this knife off again because I can. Mini Nesmuk. It does need a full-sized companion, I think. It doesn't come with that glossy a grind though. I did that. I mean, they come pretty, you know, like you know, it still has the grinding marks. Like, it's not that. I'm trying to figure out the words I need, but I can't. Trust me, I did a lot of work on the bevel to make it nice and glossy, purely because of my opinion, which I have yet to be proven wrong, that a very smooth, glossy bevel will give rust no purchase from which to invade the metal. Yes, I do need a Grumman Canadian belt knife. Anthony's home. Anthony, I'm going to send you your prize this week. What I wanted to do was send it today because I had a dentist appointment, so I wasn't going to work on time. But I just didn't have time. Because what I wanted to do was answer your email saying, it's already in the mail. But much to my chagrin, that is not what happened. So I'll try to send it one evening this week. I don't want it to extend. I want to get it in the mail so that you can have it as quickly as possible. And then I want you making many fires with it and telling me how it's going. Yeah, and the sheath is not made by Jeff White, though. The sheath is by someone else. Robert Jones. The sheath is always made by Robert Jones. Like, Jeff White doesn't do leather. Apparently the Jets won overtime 5-4. Yeah, outdoor, it's funny because in Canada, liberal doesn't mean the same thing as it does in the States. In Canada, liberal is a really centrist. Well, it used to be really centrist. Now they're just conservatives in better suits. But anyway. But I've always found it funny what liberal means in the States. It's very unique. Because even in the UK, liberals are a political party, you know. Well, they're not called liberals. They're called Liberal Democrats. And in Australia, I think it is. The Liberal Party is actually, or is it in New Zealand? One of those two. The Liberal Party is very conservative, comparatively speaking. Gonzo. You missed the I missed the thumb pip, the thumb stud. You know, it's funny. I don't think I should be playing with a bladed object and having a beer at the same time. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So I'm just gonna. Well, the beer's over, so I can go back to playing with that bladed object. if I can find a way of getting that Groman without actually buying it from Groman, because I kind of feel that I should have one just because I'm starting to talk more about knives online and on my channel. It's the same with axes. Like, I'm sort of positioning myself as someone who knows a couple of things about axes, but in order to do that, like, I'm kind of pulled in two directions. If I want to be able to talk about axes in a general sense with any sort of authority, then I should know what I'm talking about. I should have a plumb of some sort or two. I should have a couple of like full-size doubles. I should have, you know, I should have at least one Hudson's Bay axe. Even though it's not a pattern that I like very much, I should have one so that I can talk about the feel and the balance when conversations get around to that. And for knives, I'm sort of feeling that there are certain things I should have because they come up in conversation with me. Like, to me, a Canadian belt knife right now is the cold steel. But the Groman is not going to feel like a true Canadian belt knife is not. It doesn't have a plastic handle, you know. So I feel that I should have one of the Groman ones just for the sake of speaking from a position of knowing what I'm talking about. But I don't want to give Groman any business because, as Outdoor said, they snubbed me. And again, I will say this again, it's not because they didn't give me a knife to review. Because in my review email, I've got a canned review email that I send out and I punch in their names, the company name and the product. I always offer to send it back because when I was doing reviews professionally for a magazine, a big name magazine, we always offered to send the item back. And some companies wanted the item back and some companies did not. In fact, hold on a sec. This item here, if I can get it without dropping everything to the ground. This I was supposed to send back. Those of you guys who remember the video I made on the Swedish log, the Swedish torch, Canadian candle. This is the Sportes MIDI 001. Goes on the top of a Swedish candle, right? This exact one was the one that was reviewed by Wired and so-and-so in Europe. And when it came back, I asked to review it, and so he sent me that one that had been at Wired, at the Wired offices, and I got it. And he told me after my review that I could keep it. But the agreement we'd made with him was that when I'd reviewed this, I was going to send it back. Him offering for me to just keep it was unexpected and honestly thrilling because this is a really cool item. And I generally don't like high-tech solutions. But you know, Cedric Sportes, his approach to developing these things, he's an industrial designer or an industrial engineer, sorry, by trade. So he comes at this stuff like he knew which metal to use so that it wouldn't warp. You know, so he didn't have to do a bunch of different metal prototypes. His prototypes were all honing down the design, not the choice of metals, you know? But all that to say that I don't ask for a review sample of something to get the item necessarily, you know? In fact, sometimes, like, remember, I already had one of these, so I gave away the one that I received. But anyways, so my thing, my problem with Groman is not that I didn't get a knife. My problem is that they didn't even bother answering me. And I always end up having to say that again because someone always thinks that it's, oh, poor little baby didn't get a knife. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's legit. I'm not a big enough channel to expect anything. When I ask, it's like, may as well. The worst thing that they can do is say no. Sometimes I buy the item anyway. It all depends on their... Sometimes I buy the item anyway. Because it all depends on the way they say no. Mora was very classy. I bought the item. Because I did ask for one of those. They were very happy with my review of this, but I'm not big enough to have gotten one of these. Okay. I respect that. Let me see. Where was I? Oh, Winters is gone. If you're still here, have a good one. Hold on. But yeah, Simon, you should see Outdoors R. Murphy. It's a really nice knife. Anthony, no, I haven't found anything yet. The guys are like, what is that? I said, I think it looks like a mountain range. Oh, maybe it's runes. I'm like, no, I need to know if anyone knows who the guy is. So far, I'm coming up with nothing. I'm thinking it might be a one-off. A guy probably just drew that and, like, I don't know. It's frustrating because I feel like I've seen that maker's mark before, but it just might be a style that I've seen before, you know? Coldcracker got yelled at in the comments for being bush drunk. When? Which episode was? Which video was that? Hike with Mike. What's up? Wow, you're in late, man. We're only here for another 4 minutes. Zachary Fudge. Yeah, Zachary, you're right. Bushcraft Canada has great prices on Groman blades. I've never heard of Warriors and Wonders before. Maybe I'll check that out. No, I never found Simon's Cold Steel. I never found my 2 fire kits. I never found the hat I used to wear in my videos. And I lost that black thermos I used to use. I have no idea what the hell's going on. I don't know what the hell's what's happening here. Because that plus that plus that plus that is turning into some money, man. The knife is 18 bucks. So I bought another one, which I'm using and he can have. But like the hat was what, 29 bucks. That thermos was I think 39 bucks. The fire kits, I was just like, what the hell? Where's all my stuff going, man? I mean, down here it's a mess. I gotta clean this crap out, but you know, where's all my stuff? I don't know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Hike with Mike's right. It all comes down to customer service. Say no to my face. We're fine. Ignore me? Fudge you. Forever. Oh, one of his Q&A vids. Okay. Yeah. 10:58, guys. If anyone's got anything to say, get it in the next 2 minutes. Yeah, Anthony, it is 4 mountain peaks on the knife, but I don't know. You want an LK35 pack? See you later, Jeff R. 22:59. Yeah, 22:59. Let's wrap it down. Have a good one, guys. Good night, LT. See you later, Outdoor. See you, Simon. See you later, Jeff R. Who's left? Yeah, actually, bonne nuit to my Serge. See you later. Zachary, have a good night. Zachary Fudge. Heck with Mike, good night. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with me again.